Hello. Today, I want to talk to you about persuasion. What persuasion is, how to prepare a persuasive presentation, how to go through different steps of persuasion. We need to have a clear idea of what we want to say and what we want to achieve with the audience. Persuasion. What is persuasion? It is regarded by many authors as a way we communicate with certain goal in mind, with certain objective. And that objective is that we intentionally, that means knowingly, that we know what we want to do, we intentionally want to appeal to people. We want to make change in people's thinking. So persuasion is really about limiting the options that people consider as acceptable. That's kind of a fancy definition of what it is, but what it really means is that by persuading people, by trying to persuade people, what we want to do is that we want to appeal to them. We want to establish a change, either change in their thinking, or if we have more courage, more guts, so to speak, we want to establish change in their actions. And so whether you present to change people's thinking, opinion, values, beliefs, or you want to change their actions, you are making an appeal. You are doing something we call persuasion. And so when we talk about persuasive presentations, we talk about two basic types, or this basic division has two aspects, two types. One, speech is a speech to convince. And so that actually means that we want to convince people to think different way, to have different belief, to agree with you about or on something that they maybe not have agreed before. So that is a persuasion or persuasive speech to convince. You're changing people's opinions. You may be changing their values, you may be changing their outlooks, their ideas, their attitudes, but you may not change the way they act. If you want to change the way they act, you take this beyond the theoretical persuasion or appeals, and your goal is that you want the people to take action. And so that is called the speech to actuate. That means you want the people to take a particular action. They haven't been doing something and all of a sudden they should do something, or they did something and you want to discontinue their action. You want them to discontinue their action. You say, no, it was wrong what you did. Or they were not doing anything and you say, well, it was wrong and you should have done this, and so from now on please continue, please do it. Or people have been doing something and you want to reinforce that and you want to tell them, hey, I like the way you've been doing it. Please continue, persevere, carry on. And so this is the persuasion. This is the speech to actuate people, to lead and to drive them to action. Not only do I want to change their thoughts, their ideas, their opinions, their values, their beliefs, but here I want to actually go beyond this and further and actually concentrate on their behavior. There are, needless to say, four core components that should be present in each persuasive speech. First component is the evidence and logic. So you want to really have something on which you should lean to. That means something that you take from an external source, some sort of a claim or something factual or something that is not really from your own head, but it's something from an outside source, something that you agree with, something that you want to endorse, something that you want to pursue, but it's not from your own thinking, from your own feelings. It's something from an external source. And then logic means the way that you reason, way that you kind of elaborate this thought, this idea, this claim, this declaration, this belief, or whatever you want to implant and instill in people's minds. So what you're going to do is that you want to make sure that you have evidence. And as I said, evidence is something that comes from the outside source, from the outside environment. It's not something that rests within you, but it's something that you take from the external source. But not only evidence and logic is important, what's also important, and that's the element number 2, that's credibility. So you want to make sure when people listen to you, when they watch you, that they see that you are credible. But not only do you want to have your evidence and logic or your credibility, well, number 3, what you need to also consider, and what forms an integral part of your persuasion, is the psychological needs of your audience, of those that you make appeal to. And what it means is that you need to know the level of your audience's needs, psychological needs. Well, we take this idea, or we take this model from Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, whereby we are told that people go through different needs. And so you need to also be sensitive to different needs that your audience have. And of course, the last point, number 4, is you also want to take into consideration the opinions of other people. Well, not opinion just anybody, just any people. What I want to talk to you about is that you want to be sure that whatever appeal you make, that it's endorsed by opinions of what we call key people. Key people are the people who are leaders in their fields. There are maybe popular people, scientists, movie stars. You know, you want to make sure that the appeal or your persuasion is really reinforced by what the big people, the big players think, be it scientists, educators, famous people, people who are experts in their fields, people who are really the opinion makers. And so these are the 4 main points you want to make sure that are present in your persuasion.